The International Monetary Fund and the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs held a joint press conference on Tuesday to discuss the country's economic situation. The IMF mission team, led by Ivo Hassina Fezara, mission chief for the Gambia, is currently in the country to assess the progress that the Gambia authorities has made since the last review mission, as well as to discuss the way forward. The team held discussions with the Gambia government officials, development partners, civil society organizations, and the private sector. Speaking during the press conference, Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Honorable Sidi Keita, thanked the IMF for their ongoing support to the Gambia government.
The IMF themselves, they have been very supportive. The program is not just about austerity, it's about reforms, it's about repositioning the economy to put the macroeconomic fundamentals on a sound footing and to be able to support the growth. And we are pleased that we have witnessed this growth despite the challenges which are on the headlines, but the growth on the Gambia's economy has been on the upward trajectory. We closed at 4.3 last year. In 2023 is expected to be 5.6, and subsequently it may go up to 6. But that's just a projection. I think the most important part of all this is to build the institutions that are in the economy.
IMF Mission Chief for the Gambia, Ivo Hassina Fezara, highlighted the progress the Gambia authorities has made since the last review of the mission.
Congratulations, and now we are preparing ourselves to the next steps in terms of the relationship with the IMF. And within that context, we came here to Banjul, to the Gambia, to assess the economic developments and to look at the economic progress, to look at the challenges, and to discuss the next steps. So in terms of the latest macroeconomic developments, as Honorable Minister just mentioned, we are pleased to see that the economic activity is recovering. We are pleased to see that, for instance, the tourism sector is recovering strongly. It has not reached yet the level before the pandemic, but it has recovered very strongly. We are glad to see that infrastructure building is going very fast. It is a tremendous pleasure to see the road that all of us can see. The very first time myself came to the Gambia, the road was, as we all know, the status back then. And each time we come to the Gambia, to Banjul, we see very big progress on infrastructure building. And we can see now that the road is almost completed. So this is really a big achievement.
Mr. Ivo Hassina says the IMF has realized that economic activities in the Gambia are rebounding.
We can see that the infrastructure building from the public sector is driving the infrastructure building construction of the private sector. And this is exactly what is expected, that the public will bring in the private construction. And we see construction along the road on both sides of the road. And we can also see construction even in different neighborhoods, not only here in the Banjul, but also in other parts of the country. So we see that economic activity is rebounding. Construction is going well. We see also that the agricultural sector is doing well as well. So we see definitely a positive development.
He further pointed out some of the challenges the Gambia is currently facing.
Some of the key challenges that we've seen, one is on inflation. We all know that inflation is accelerating and has been accelerating. It is at around 17.4% now. It is high. I just want to note that this inflation pressure, it is not only for the case of the Gambia, but it is an inflation pressure that is seen and that is experienced by many countries around the world. Low-income countries, developing countries, middle-income countries, but also advanced countries. So many countries around the world are experiencing this high inflation. And an important driver of that high inflation around the world is the war in Ukraine that we all see that has been pushing up prices of different items, including food, fuel, and other kind of basic consumption items. The other challenge that we see on exchange rate, we see that there were some tensions on exchange rate towards the end of 2022. The tension somehow eased when there was a high tourist arrivals in the country. But now we see a little bit of challenges on that front, but we are discussing closely with different stakeholders to try to understand and to try to adjust the situation.
The International Monetary Fund is an institution of the United Nations that sets standards to global economic to strengthen its members' country economically. Reporting for Kerr, Fatou, I am Ramatulai Jao.